Hey guys, Linda here. Welcome back to AdoreR. Hope everyone's doing good today. Happy New Year. We made it to January 1st, 2021. Hooray! Let's hope that 2021 start off better than 2020. It can only get better from here, so let's keep our fingers crossed and pray that 2021 will be better than 2020. Today I'm coming to you with my November, December wrap up. I had planned to do two films before December was out, but it didn't happen. So I'm coming to you today to get that done. So I'm on my Goodreads page here, so I'm just going to go through these books that I've read. I'm going to try to go through them really quickly because I have quite a few on here. First up I have is, I hope you can see it there, is Planet Barbarians. It's a sci-fi alien romance by Ruby Dixon. I'm sure you heard of it. I hear a lot of people talking about Ruby Dixon on YouTube. So I was like, let me try it out. I think I did read another one of these books from her, because this is a long-running series. I don't know how many books in the series, but I look like I read one about a blue. I think he's a blue alien. I think I read one of these already. I can't remember. But I know I didn't read the first one in the series. I think I mentioned on here before, I don't have to read the first book in the series. I can just start reading anywhere and I'm fine with that. But I did go back and finally pick up the first book, and it was okay. I gave it 3.5 stars. But there is a lot of sexual content in this story. But the story it does have a interesting story, because sometimes you get books, it's just nothing but sexual content, and you be like, what? Yeah. But this did have a story. It's on the heroine. She goes to sleep one night, and when she wakes back up, she's on an alien ship. She's been kidnapped. Her and a bunch of other women are on this ship together. And she realized she's been kidnapped, and she's on an alien ship going who knows where. But for some reason, the alien ship crashed on this planet, and this is where she meet the hero. And this is how the Planet Barbarian series started, because the other women on the ship also meet other blue aliens on this planet too. Because they're not the one who kidnapped the women in the first place. It's just that it happened that the plane crashed on this place where the hero happens to live. He lives there with some other aliens on this planet, and so that's how she meets him. And it goes from there, because she leaves the ship, because she kind of like become the leader of the bunch of women, and she leaves the ship to try to see can she find help or whatever. And that's when she runs into the hero. He's a blue alien. He has horns, but if you can see on here, you can't see his horns on here. They never make the cover like the actual characters in the book, but he is blue right here. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I don't know. This might be just something I want to read. I'll go pick up the second book in the series, because this is like a novella, and it's only 188 pages on here. So if you want a quick read, you don't mind the steaminess of the book, I would recommend it. It had a nice little story. Like I said, it's only 180. You can only do so much in 188 pages, but I think Ruby Dixon did it pretty good. But like I said, there's a lot of sexual content, so beware if that's not your thing. Let's go to the next book here. Next I have Lush by Laura Dane. This is number 3 in the Delicious series. I had this on my TBR, and I finally finished it. I've been trying to read this book ever since August. It started out really slow, and I think I mentioned that I liked it because, look, she's a chef. And when I went into it, I didn't know he's like a rock star. Him and his brother are in a rock band. Him and his brother have a band, and they're pretty popular. So it's about these two meeting and hooking up. But like I said, it started out really slow. And then it kind of like picked up. When I finally made it to the middle, it finally picked up. And then I enjoyed it from there. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 stars. And like I said, she's a chef, and she meets him at, like I said, this is a whole series. I didn't start at book 1. So book 1 was probably on her friends. So it's a bunch of friends, her and her friends. And the book is on her and her friends. Like I said, she did a wedding. She catered a wedding. And the guy who was getting married is the hero's friend. And he was at the wedding. And they get introduced. And yeah, and if you read Lauren Dane, if you read her before, you know her books are steamy too. So they hook up at the wedding, after the wedding, and it goes from there because he started catching feelings for her, and she's kind of unsure because she don't want to get involved in that, you know, rockers or rock star life, you know, being jealous because all these women are after him or whatever. So that's going to be their little contention because she's not sure she want to get into this relationship. And like I said, I gave it 3.5 stars. It started out slow, but it picked up, so I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Next I have let's see, Don't Tempt Me by Loretta Chase. This is book 2 in the Fallen Women series. I was looking through some books and I saw this and I was like, let me check this out. And I gave this a 3-star. It was okay. Because look, I can't hardly remember what it's about, but I actually have the book here. So I'll show you the book. Here it is right here. Let me look at the back of it, because I think she gets kidnapped. The heroine, her dad, and he was like, I think he was like a diplomat overseas somewhere, and he took the family, or they went on a vacation. I can't remember, but they was overseas in Egypt or somewhere, and they took the kids with them, and the main heroine, she got kidnapped. So she's been living in this harem. That's what it is. It's a harem. She's been living in this harem since she was like 12 or 13 years old. And she, when she escaped, she's like 18, I think, 17 or 18. And she escapes and make it back to England. And they recognize, because a lot of people been trying to say they were her, like they're alone, because her father's been looking for her all this time. And you get people showing up like they're trying to impersonate her or whatever, but when she shows up, he recognized her and he welcomes her back into the family. And that's where she meet Lucian, because she knew Lucian when she was little. They played together, but he was a little older than her, because he shows up at the house when he hears that she's returned, because he's going to go there and try to, you know, because he know what's been going on with all these people trying to say that they're her. But when he sees her too, he realizes it's her. So it's going to be the heroine story. What her name is, Zoe Hexam and Lucian Gray. It's going to be their story of how he's trying to help her, you know, get back, because he's a duke. So he's trying to help her to get back into society, because yeah, when she was over there, you know, they think she's been raped or whatever. And you know how society is back in those days. They didn't, even though it's not your fault, people still look at you like it's scandalous or whatever. Yeah, it's a lot going on. So he's trying to help her get her reputation back, and help her get back into society and get back, you know, to the English life or whatever. And they end up falling in love. And I really enjoyed it. It was okay. I gave it 3. Did I give it 3? I might have gave this 3.5 stars, because now that I go back and read a little bit, I kind of remember what happened. And I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It was okay, but do I want to continue? Do I want to keep this? No. Or do I want to read it again? No, I don't want to read it again. And I don't think I'll continue with the series or whatever, but it has a step back there. If you see it there. And what series did I say this was? It's the Fallen Women series. I guess it's Fallen Women because she got kidnapped and she was raised in a harem, and she, even though she was still a virgin, she knew all about how to attract men and how to come on to men and all that stuff. She learned all that stuff while she was in the harem. So it was pretty good. I gave it 3.5 stars. If you want to check it out, Loretta Chase, Don't Tempt Me. And back in the day when they were writing these books, they wasn't in no series. So I was like, I never knew this was in a series. They don't even have it on here. They didn't, if it was in a series, they didn't put on here like it's in a series. But now with the books today, you usually have another little line here telling you that it's like in a series or something. But other than that, I didn't know this was in a series. So yeah, this is Fallen Women, book number 2. I don't know what's book number 1, but this is book number 2 if you want to check it out. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was pretty interesting. And next, let's see what I have on here. I also had this on my, this is another book that's from my TBR. is CryWoof. It's the Harlequin Nocturnal CryWoof. I enjoyed this one. I gave this a 3.5 stars. I don't have it. I'm pretty stingy with rating books. Usually I don't even give a book 5 stars unless it just really, really knocked me off my feet. I just go up to like 4.5 stars. But I gave this a high 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. And this is on the main character. He is a shapeshifter. He shifts into a wolf. He don't shift all the way into a wolf like the actual animal, but he shifts. And then it's on the female character. She's like a psychiatrist, and she's going to find out she's also can shift shape, because she didn't know. She just been brought up just as a regular person, and she didn't know that she didn't know this. So she's going to find this out doing this story. And they meet when we got some vampires in here, and that's his mission at night. He go around defending the keeping the vampires in line or whatever. And they're going to meet when she get restless or something. She's gonna go off walking. When she, instead of going to her car, she's gonna just do a little walk around or whatever in the city, and she ends up in this alley, I think, or she sees him and his friend. Yeah, she gets attacked, and him and his friend show up, and I think they're kind of like in their wolf form, but I think she got knocked out or something, so she can't see him real good. I can't remember, but he's also a cop. So that's how their relationship is going to start from there. And she's a psychiatrist, and mostly it's going to be about her trying to come to grip with finding out that she is also a shift shaper, and try to find out, because the head vampire is going to be after her. So I gave it 3.5 stars. This is from my October Nocturnal. I finally finished it, which I didn't finish it in October. When I get these books 3.5 stars, these are books that you start reading, but it really don't capture your attention. It really don't sucks you in where you can't put it down. I put this down a couple of times. That's why it took me forever to read it. But I gave it 3.5 stars. And like I said, it starts out slow, and then it picked up. Some of these books, they start out real slow, and then they picked up in the middle, and that's what saved them. And I gave it 3.5 stars. Next, I have on this list here, what would the list be without a Jessica Kane on here? This is the Hitman's Angel, and I gave this 3.5 stars. Yeah, I gave this 3.5 stars, and this is going to be a hitman. He's going to a strip club, and he's going there to kill the owner, and he ends up meeting this female that he calls Angel, because of course with Jessica Kane you got insta love, insta lust. That's what I call insta love with a Jessica Kane. And these little stories, they be addicting. I be like, every time, because I subscribe to her little email thing where I get an email if she's written a new book. And I read the Hitman. I'm gonna say I gave it 3 stars, because I'm not going to go back and read this again. This is not one I wanted to keep. I think I've only kept one of her books that I really, really enjoyed. But these, I just read them and then I just return them. But this is The Hitman by Jessica Kane. I gave it 3 stars. Like I said, insta lust, insta love. So if you don't like a lot of sexual content, this is another author you don't even need to read. And her books are like, and her books are mostly novella. And I don't know how many pages in here. Probably wasn't, maybe 60 or 70 page book. So I read that. I gave that 3 or 3.5 stars. I can't really remember, but it's not a book that I would want to go back and read again. It's just something I read and then next. That's what Jessica Kane books are. It just gives you a little something in between books, in between longer books. If you just want a quick read, yeah, that's Jessica Kane for you. Next, I have Happily Letter After by Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward. I really, really enjoyed this one. I gave this a 4 star. And this is on the heroine. She works at a newspaper. And if you like those romances with little kids in it, because the hero, he has a daughter, and his wife died of cancer. And that, like I said, a heroine works at this newspaper, and this kind of set around Christmas time. Around Christmas time, the kids or whoever can write into the where she works at, write Santa a letter, and she just happened to run across his daughter's letter, and his daughter was asking for, I forgot what she asked for. So she went ahead and sent some of this stuff to whatever the little girl asked for to the little girl, and she just become attached to the little girl through the letter, and her friend go, I don't know how it was, but they found out that the little girl is going to they're going to be at I think the little girl wrote back to her and told her that her and her dad were going to some kind of little theme park, or I think she told the little girl about a theme park that she should go to, and I think the little girl wrote her back and told her they were going. I forgot how it was, but somehow she gets to see the little girl at this theme park, and she had a lot of, because in real life I wouldn't have did it, because she ends up at the little girl house. I mean, you're gonna be like, what's she doing, stalking these people? But she gonna find out where they live at, and she's gonna go there. I forgot what happened, why she went there. And that's when he gonna see her at his door or something. She found I think the little girl dropped a bow out of her hair or something. She picked it up, and she was going to knock on the door and give it back to her. But then she was like, this is crazy. So she was finna leave, but he opened the door. And that's how the hero and the heroine meet for the first time, because she already know about them, but he don't know what's going on. So it's going to be about them figuring out that whole relationship. And they're going to have, when he find out who she really is, it's going to be a little kind of breakup, or it wasn't that bad, but you know how it is when you find out the truth about who somebody really is, and you be like, what really, are you a stalker? But he didn't say that, but I'm like, yeah, figured out. But I enjoyed the book. I gave it 4 stars. Do I want to read it again? No. I gave it a high 3.5 stars, so I just pushed it on over to a 4-star. But do I want to read it again? No. But I do love this cover. Happily Letter After by Keelan and Penelope Ward. See what else I got on here. Next I have I got this in the book form here. I read Fumbled Heart by Megan Brandy, and this is a YA romance. So if you're not into the YA romance, because this is set in high school, and I gave this a high 3.5 stars or 4, because in the middle of the book, I really enjoyed the middle of the book, but it started out, but when I started reading it, this is a long book too. How many pages up in here? 581 pages. But I flew through the book. It was interesting, but this is one of those, only thing I don't like about YA, when you have like young couples falling in love, where are the parents in it? Where are the parents? Because when this started out, I was totally lost, because the heroine in this moves into a house next door to her aunt. She's supposed to be 17 or 18 years old. She's staying in this house all by herself, but you don't find out why until further, like I said, further on in the book. I was like, and I couldn't enjoy the story because I kept wondering why she's living in this house all by herself. I was like, what? I didn't like that part. But when I finally found out the reason, I was like, okay, could you have told me that at the beginning, so I wouldn't have been thinking about this through this whole story? But the relationship between the female character and the hero in the story, I enjoyed that, because she didn't take no stuff. She moved into this town next to her cousin, and because I was like, why are you not living with your aunt? Yeah, that's a whole, you have to read the, I was like, no. And sorry, my camera went out. She's gonna be new to the school, so she's a new girl in town, and she's the new girl at this school, and that's how she's gonna meet the main hero, because of course he got to be the main guy on campus, and I think he played football, and I like the banter. I think I told you that's what I mostly be looking for in a book, is the banter between the two main characters. I like the banter between them, and I really enjoyed the middle of the book, and I flew right through it. But then something happened around at the end that just threw me off. I was like, ugh. I had a love-hate relationship with this book. Like I said, the beginning and the end, it was not for me. But the middle, I will go back, and I bought the book because I enjoyed the middle part so much. I will go back and I'll just skip over the first part and just go to the part that I really enjoyed and read it from there. Yeah, that's how I do. I really enjoyed the book enough to buy it, but I gave it a high 3.5 star, but I enjoyed it enough to get it because I like the banter between the two main characters in like the middle of the book when they first meet and stuff like that. But like the beginning and the end, no. So that's Fumbled Heart Megan Brady. I gave it a high 3.5 stars, and I think and so, you know, on Goodreads you can't give it 3.5, so I gave it a 4-star. Fumbled Hearts. It's a Fumbled Hearts novel, and I like, I can't, because I think another guy in this book is supposed to have a, I don't know if it's book 1. Let me see. Yeah, this is book 1 in the Tender Heart series. And I didn't continue with the series because, like I said, it didn't, the ending didn't do it for me. And I was like, I don't know if I want to continue this series. And like I said, this is a 400-some page. Is it 400 something? Where did it stop at? Let's see here. And you see why it is like that, because look at, it's big writing, and then it don't even go all the way down to the, you know, like sometimes the number would be down here, you know, it will be longer, but that's why this book is so big, because look how far they stopped up from the bottom of the page. Oh my goodness. No wonder this is this is a big book, and it's 500 and some pages in this book. And like I said, I didn't know if I wanted to carry on with this series. I'm not sure yet. Megan Brady, I don't know. And she's a new author for me, Megan Brady. She's a new author. I might have a video on new author that I discovered this year. I don't know. But Megan Brady was one of them. And this is Fumbled Heart, book number 1 in the Tender Heart series. If you want to check it out, YA. The sexual content in here wasn't over the top, but it was some sexual content in here of some high school student. Yeah, I think she was like 17 or 18, and she was older than he was. I think he might have been 17 and she turned 18 while she was there. I don't know. I can't remember. But like I said, and I like this cover also. That's another reason I got it. I like the cover. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Let me get my Kindle back up and see what we got next here. I got another Jessica Kane on here. And Jessica Kane, she just be coming out. Look, she can come out with these fast books, because like I said, her books don't be, they're like novellas. They be like 60, 66 or 78 or 90 pages. So that's why she can write them that quick. And this is In His Custody. I gave this a 3-star because this is all, if you like the stepfather trope, that's as far as I'm going with that. I gave this 3 stars. This is the stepfather trope. So I'm not even going to go into what this book was about, because, yeah, you know, it went there. It was like, yeah, insta lust. And what's so bad about it, he's a cop. He's a cop, and I'm just going to tell you the first part. He goes to, because the heroine in this story, she's in juvie, and she's getting out of juvie, and this guy shows up, and she don't really know who he is. And then that's when he tell her, I married your mother, I'm your stepfather. Okay, that's all I got for you. I'm through with that. In His Custody by Jessica Kane. I'm through with that one. Let's move on. Then I read the Earl I Ruined, and this is book number 2 in the Secrets of Charlotte Street by Scarlett Peckham. I gave this a 3.5 stars. I didn't enjoy it that much. I gave it like a low 3.5 star. It was okay. It just didn't do it for me. And this was on, like I said, this is the second book. I do have the first book. I'm gonna go back and read the first book, but I just read the second book. The synopsis sounded more interesting to me than the first book, so I read it out of order. And this is going to be the sister of the guy from the first book. The hero is like a friend of her brother's, I think. But they know each other, and he's always been in love with her. And she always called him kind of stuffy, you know, because he's always looked like he's uptight or whatever. But then someone tells her a secret about him, because this is like, this has sexual content in it, and it mentions some, because it got some BDS. Is it BDSM? Yes, but you don't actually see it, because she found out that he go to this club and he liked to be whipped. Yes, so yeah, it's going there. It's kind of like a dark romance, and she writes this, but she don't know if it's true or not. She just hears somebody tell her that, and she write this column. But she wrote something in some kind of way. It got in the newspaper. Now his reputation been ruined, because don't nobody know if it's true or not. They don't really know if it's true. But his reputation, you know, this set in the 1800s, so anything, any little thing is a scandal. So and then she finds out what she did. She goes there and try to apologize to him, and he don't want to hear it. But she said that she will, you know, since her brother is, I think her brother is a duke or whatever, and if she go with him, she could like, and since she's a sister of a duke, they can, you know, help his reputation. And he's not agreeing to it at first, but then he ends up agreeing to it. So if you like the secret engagement trope or whatever, or they're engaged but they're not engaged, so that's how that's gonna go. It was okay. Like I said, I gave it a 3. I gave it a 3.5 star, but like a low 3.5 star, because it was okay. It's nothing I want to go back and read again. And this is book number 2 in Secrets of Charlotte Street. It didn't really capture my attention. It didn't have those special moments. Like, even though Fumbled Heart was slow, I didn't like the beginning of it, but it had some special moments in the middle of the book that I really, really enjoyed. This one, even though I gave Fumbled Heart a 3.5 stars, it was some special moments in there that I will go back and read. But this one, it didn't have those special moments that I would like to go back and read the book again, so no. But I liked it enough that I want to go back and read the first book, so I gave that 3.5 stars. Next I have, yeah, this video is going to be long because I think I got 12 books that I've read already for November and December, since I'm adding them together. This is book number 2 in the Swag series by Serena Bowen and L. Kennedy. I enjoyed this one. I think he's a baseball player. I think so. And this is on him and the heroine. She and her ex-husband started this company where, since, you know, he's an athlete, he don't have time to, you know, do any shopping. He, you know, he's always on the road and stuff like that. So with this company that the heroine started, they'll do everything for you. They'll take care of your house. If you're looking for a house, they'll find a house for you. You know, you just tell them what you want and they'll pick it up and they'll decorate your house for you. And they meet because he needs somebody to watch his dog sitter. Something happened and he needs a dog sitter. So send someone from the heroine's company to watch his dog and walk his dog and take care of his dog while he's out. You know, I think he was out on the road or whatever. But, you know, she's not supposed to do it, but because they can actually, can they actually see in his house? I think they can. I don't remember. But they know what he looked like, and she kind of has a crush on him. And she knows that they got a rule that you're not supposed to fraternize with the client. But yeah, she ends up breaking her own rules, and that's how they end up hooking up. And he's been divorced. He's divorced also, and he got 2 little girls. And it just goes from there, them falling in love with each other. And yes, there's some steaminess in this. I gave it a 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. I gave it a high 3.5 star, but this one didn't have those special moments for me where I want to go back and read the story again. It just was a good story that I enjoyed, but it wasn't enough for me to like, I want to buy this book. I give it a 3.5 stars, and I do like that cover. That's what caught my attention to get this book. And this is Stay, and this is book number, what was it? Book number 2 in the Wax series. And this book didn't make me want to continue the series. Next I have, this is Striped Not Spotted, Striped Not Spotted by Alice Coldbreath. Alice Coldbreath is a new author for me, was a new author for me in 2020. I really liked her writing. I really like her historicals. I got a bunch of them on here too that I'm going to go over. But this one is a shapeshifter romance. I gave this a 3.5 stars. It was okay. I gave it a high 3.5 stars. This is on this, and it's kind of like the main heroine is a she's not a wolf. She shifts into something else. And the main male character, he can shift into a wolf. And, you know, they're not supposed to be together because they're different. You know, she's a different animal than he is. And her grandmother is kind of mystical because her grandmother put her to sleep. And she kind of like dreaming or in this kind of like dream state. And that's how she meets him. In this dream state, she meets the hero. And they are lost in the woods or something, and because he been he got beat up by his tribe. You know, he stayed in a tribe of wolves, and he tried to fight the alpha male because he's not the alpha male. Is it his cousin or his brother is the alpha male? He's kind of like the black sheep of the family, but he wanted to fight his brother or his cousin or something to be the leader, but he got beat up. Yeah. So she meets him in this dream state, and that's how they meet and connect. So when they come out of the dream state, he is locked up because they locked him up, and she wakes up back at her grandmother's house. So she go and try to find him at his compound. And that's how it goes from there. But it was just a novella, like maybe about 90 pages or something. But I enjoyed it. It was a good little story. I gave it 3.5 stars. And yes, it does have some steaminess in it. A warning, steaminess is all up in here. Okay, so I gave that 3.5 stars. Next I read... this is another book by Alice Coldbreath. This is Love Potion for the Alpha. Now, this cover needs help, people. Look at this cover. Now, if I had looked at that, I was like, no, y'all need to go back to the drawing board because this cover is not doing it. I told you I got a lot of Alice Coldbreath. I like her writing. So this is a, I don't want to say medieval romance because he is... he's looking for a wife. The hero is looking for a wife. And the female, her father had promised the hero that he could marry one of his daughter or something like that. But he come to their castle to get his to meet the bride. And it's supposed to be her sister, but it ends up being the heroine that he picks. And she thinks it because of this potion that her sister gave her. Her sister gave her some kind of potion because the heroine thinks she's not attractive enough to attract anyone. And like I said, the hero's supposed to be marrying the heroine's sister, but he ends up marrying the heroine of the story. And she takes this potion, and she thinks that's why he's noticing her and why he wants to marry her instead of her sister. And it goes from there. It's also like a little road trip because he marries her there, and then they have to go back to his castle or whatever where he came from. So it's like they like traveling by horse back to where he's from, and he's a shift shifter also. He shift shaped. So we got some shift shifting going on. Shift shape. I cannot pronounce that word. We got some shifting going on here, and it's also a medieval romance. So, and if you like some steaminess in your romances, that'll be for you. But this cover, it didn't attract me for the cover. I bought this because it was Alice Coldbreath, because this cover is not doing it for me. But I really, really enjoyed this. I gave this a 4 stars, and I asked her, I emailed her and asked her where she going to, because all her books are on Kindle Unlimited and they're ebooks, because I want to buy this book, but I'm not going to buy it because of this cover. I just keep it on my Kindle. But if she ever changed the cover of this and get a better cover, I want to buy this. And I emailed her and asked her was she ever going to put any of her books, because like I said, I got some other books of hers on here that I'm going to go over, and I want to purchase those books, actually the physical book. But she said she's not doing any physical books right now. She said maybe later on, but if she ever do come out with any of her physical books, I'm going to be buying some because I like her writing. So I really, really enjoyed this. I gave this a 4 star, even though the cover needed help. Next, I have another Alice Coldbreath. This is the first book I ever read by her. This is a Bribe for the Prizefighter by Alice Coldbreath. I really, really, really enjoyed this. I gave this a 4.5 stars. This is going to be about the heroine. Father has passed away, and then she's going to find out that she has a stepbrother, and because her mother was married to somebody else, and she never knew about it. They didn't even tell her until her father I think her mother had passed away, and then when her father died, he finally told her that she had a stepbrother, and he was going to come there to get her, because this also is set in the 1800s or something. It's not a medieval romance, maybe Regency times. I don't know. And so when her brother comes there and talks to her, he has arranged for her to get married. I was like, what? you don't even know me, and you arranging for me to get married. So this is where the kick is. He's arranging for her to marry his brother. So yeah, it's all messed up because she is his brother through her mother, and he is brother to this other guy through his father and another lady. Yeah, it's all messed up. I was like, this is all messed up. There's a lot going on. But she agrees to it, and she's gonna marry the guy is a prize fighter, and he also owns it's an inn, like a tavern and an inn all together. She goes there and she meets him, and it's about them, how they end up getting married, and it's all on their relationship or how they're dealing with, marrying a stranger and her work helping him out at this inn tavern place. And I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna come back with another video because I don't want this video to be too long. I got some more books that got some Alice Coldbreath on them, so I'm gonna come back and do another video on that to finish up this wrap up. But for now, I'll just stop right there. If you haven't read any Alice Coldbreath and you like reading historical romances, I highly recommend her as a writer, Alice Coldbreath. And this is a Bribe for the Prizefighter. I gave it 4.5 stars. And that's all for now. I'll be back in a few minutes with my part 2 of my November-December wrap up. But until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.